Hello, dear starshines. Christina here with Rise of the Multidimensional Human and Light Body Academy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, sorry, I'm still finding a good spot. I had a good hot spot, and then it went away. So I'm seeing if this is a little bit better. You guys let me know if I'm coming through, if sound is happening, video is happening. Let's see. Yeah, maybe over here like this. Yes, 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 yes. Let's see if this is better. Hello, my dear lovely. So good to see you. All right, let's see. Ooh, my eyes are not good right now. Hello, gorgeous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Loud and clear. Awesome. Thank you for that. So, I walked out here and I completely forgot my notes of what I wanted to talk about today. But I think it's still pretty in there. One of the things I've been really unplugging from media, and it was really hard at first, and then I'm starting to realize that now I'm actually kind of running from it. So I'm working out a new balance of what that is, and how to show up for these things and stuff like this. But I feel like I want to keep talking with you guys about way showership and healing our multidimensional, waking up to our multidimensional abilities to create, because the narratives are getting really intense, and there's a way to see this that is completely free of that level of control. So it's really no big deal. I want to talk about that, and I want to perhaps provide some perspective that help you guys unplug from some of these pieces. They do. It's like whatever narrative you follow about world events, all of it leads downward somewhere. If it's to a heavy, to a locked in feeling, to a helpless feeling, stuff like this. And I know we all have our selective things that we want to see, or want to be our source for news or whatever, just so we can feel like we're at least making an effort to stay in touch with with the rest of the world. But no matter what, if it's talking about the global agendas or whatever, it's always heavy news. Kind of gets people in these feelings. I'm also around a lot of survival narratives, like why you need to have a bug pack, and know how to survive on whatever for a week, and how to become a self-sufficient human in the wild. And no matter where you're going, the doorway, the claim in the beginning is experience freedom in your independence, but always leads to some sort of fear thing, some sort of Armageddon is coming, and we're all going to be in a suffering experience or something. So that program is really coming up for people, and I'm really happy that it's coming up in the way that it is, because there's a clarity to it now, when before it was a giant monster in the corner in the shadow. You couldn't tell how big or small, but you knew you were terrified kind of mystery. And now we can see it and have it in a clearer way, which to me means it's been digested. It's been digested by the collective. It's been digested by all of us in the ways that we do. So now the lens is clear on a larger scale. So I don't even know where to go. All right. So what narratives, guys, really get your goat these days, either on the political or in the spiritual or whatever, in whatever predominantly has your attention. Let's see if I can focus here. Hello, darling. Hello. Carol from Minnesota, and dear Felicia, discovering the communication of consciousness and the body of receptivities. Oh my gosh, my eyes are so bad right now. I can barely see that. I should have brought my readers. Yes, because that communication has a feeling. It has a sense. It's not like it speaks in words that without words. If that's the way, you have to know how to translate beyond words. That's it. Work beyond words with that connection, that communication. So let me go back to the collectives. So there are very cool pieces coming up in the collective right now, and they are washing through so quickly, and I'm seeing it come up in ways that exemplify that open source code that I was talking about the week before last, where we open to information, it activates, we digest and integrate, and then show the way of what that looks like. However, and then it everybody else who gets exposed to that ends up waking up too and do their part, and we together, though individually, we are unwinding these giant programs, these giant galactic, even on galactic scale level programs that have been controlling our awareness for a long time. So right now, it's the work that those dear sister starshines, oh my gosh, figures names are going to leave me now. Marguerite Rigoglioso has teamed up with 2 other star seeds or star shines to do a womb healing thing, which is really cool. If you guys feel drawn to that, I highly recommend them. I'm going to take it too because I just love Marguerite. There's something about her level of energy and integrity and the way she tells stories and does all that. Just the way she presents it really resonates for me. Anyway, but this is what they're unwinding. They're just one microcosm of what's unwinding in the macrocosm of things. So each of you don't need to take those classes or anything like that or whatever. You just have the awareness that this is happening, and is it true for you? And do your own whatever you do, and that's you contributing into the larger collective. And we end up unraveling these distortions that have been anchored in our field for eons. So this is all happening. I feel like the time of this big transformation, it's like here right now happening before my eyes on a mass collective scale. I never believed that it could happen like this, but it is. And it's really amazing. I know it's the algorithms and stuff on the internet, but I watched a video of those 3 doing the workshop or introducing the workshop. And then I went on to my, I do streaming things sometimes, and all of a sudden the kinds of themes that are coming up in my recommendations all have to do with Greek mythology and Clash of the Titans, Theseus of something, and all these movies of ancient stories. It was really kind of creepy. I think you guys get stalked, you know what I mean, what it feels like to be stalked like that by those algorithms. But I also feel like, even though that stalking is kind of creepy, just having it doing what it does actually is really helpful, because if there's something to revisit about that story, you can watch the movie. It's right there, and you didn't even have to go digging for it. So I suppose there's a upside to this idea of open source coding everything. Open source coding is really scary from the old paradigm going into the new, because there's some ideas about ownership and sovereignty and individual creation, stuff like this. There's this idea that that doing that is a threat to, but I don't believe it's a threat. I think it's more about the intention with that. I think a lot of people would not think that the whole networking thing and the algorithm search thing and all that stuff had the intent of the betterment of their life. You know what I mean? Like to serve their highest good, to help them, work with the truth, or have like a real good intention rather than the malicious intent that we have right now. It's like right now we need the leadership that from when the royal lines were actually radiant beings, radiant elemental multidimensional beings, instead of the distorted, what got hijacked, what it turned into from being hijacked. So we need that kind of leadership right now. And I feel like we're all doing our way our own way to work as a collective to bring that leadership forward, that quality of beingness, of activated being forward, that is perfectly lined up to step in as a real leader that truly steers humanity in a direction that honors life and our role as being custodian here on this planet. If that was the underlying intent of our leadership, this whole open source coding thing would be easy. It would be so easy. We wouldn't care because we would feel so completely aligned with life and how, in ourselves, because as you align with yourself, yes, you align with all the life around you. We'd be living completely different, in completely different ways. All right, let's see, chime in here. All right. Hello, Ella. Good to see you, sweetie. Hi, love. She says, been thinking about you. You're going down the rabbit hole of society and a level. I decided to stop doing that. Felt in a big way infiltrated, and there's many agendas with shots of truth twisted in. Oh yeah, totally, darling. Absolutely. Oh, hey, Louise, darling sister. Hello. All right. So, okay. You guys with me so far? I'm sure y'all are. So let me pick up to where I was at and what Daniela was saying. Yes, being in the world and not of it. I guess that's what that touches us on. The capacity to be engaged in our reality, but staying in our own true rhythm without living the programs our false matrix reality gives us as an experience. Man. Whew. Yep. All right, dear Sister Sheen says, for me, it feels that the way through this is to embody as much of my infinite being as possible each day. How we respond is all just choice. Be you, be kind, everything will be provided. Yes, absolutely, darling. So, yeah, being that multidimensional self, that's a big thing, because the more we say yes to it, the easier we make it for others in the collective, the share our collective, to say yes to it. you know? And actually, I think Sheen and I had a conversation, I don't know, last week, maybe it was last month, I don't know. Time runs together. And about, people being attracted to this particular area, that there's very interesting, pretty awakened, evolved beings coming. And we don't all know of each other, but it's like you could feel there's this collection, you know. And a friend of ours shared a story about, because I guess they talk to a lot of people, network a lot or whatever. And there was a overlapping theme of stories of people saying, "I'm just called to be here. I don't know why, I'm just called." And interestingly enough, the RV park that I'm in, which is a pretty cool place, the people, the long-term stays here, which means over a month, they're looking for land. That's why they're here. Is because they're trying to find a homestead type property. And this place is perfect for it. It really is. It's far away from everything, though. So if you want to be by a hospital or that kind of civilization, it's probably not a good choice. Anyway. So yeah, we give permission. And the other thing that happens, and this is, I want to do, like, really get in person again, because this is something that I think a lot of us are really need right now, to be nourished and feel nourished and really feel more at ease in our nervous system, is to be connecting in person again. So we can just be together for whatever reason. And, women, I don't know, we have a certain way of how we talk that's different than men. And it's different than when you have women and men together. When it's just women, there's a certain way conversating goes. And I feel like we need that. And a lot of times it could be just because women tend to share their stories, share their healing stories, share their, share about their experiences when it's just women. And, and we have these we'll share stories like, I was sitting in the garden, or I was working in the garden, and I looked under, and I think there was a little being under the leaf, and I was just tickled with joy, and I felt really good the rest of the day. We share stuff like this, and it seems like just a simple sharing, rambling off of an experience. But what happens, because the veils are so thin right now and the elemental realm is so, so close in our frequency, that sharing stories like that actually activates us to that energy. And we almost can empathically experience it, a taste of it with our share. And we're activating each other by sharing our little stories here and there, heavy and light and whatever. It's all good. It all has a beneficial quality to it. I'm very curious. This probably happens in men's circles when it's just men. I think they probably share differently when it's men only. I just suspect that. Of course, I haven't been to a men's circle. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get back on track. See, when I have a lull, this is where I just kind of feel like I came to a full circle on something I'm talking about, and there's a little bit of a lull. I have like a little bulleted list to bring me back home into my full circleness, and I don't have it today. Okay. I got down that road from sharing, meeting in person. So there's a lot of people feeling drawn to do these circles, and I want to. I'm in there too. I'm really feeling drawn to do it too. There's something happening on a cosmic scale. There's a magnetic, let's say. All right, so we have all these nesting dolls, right? Let me back up for a second. We have all these nesting dolls. Imagine sphere within sphere within sphere within sphere within sphere, like those nesting dolls. And each sphere influences the one that's inside. And the interaction that's happening of the one inside also reverberates out and influences the one on the outside. Okay, so there's always this back and forth that's happening, circles. Okay, and all this is held together with magnetics. This is basic science. It's all about how things are in relationship to each other on an electromagnetic level. So the distortions that we live, and particularly that female disconnection thing, the distortions we've lived for a really long time started by a distortion way out here in that nesting doll, in that outer nesting doll. And I feel like by the unwinding of these programs that the people are doing in the collective right now, like Marguerite, and I think Lori Ladd was doing something, and Tammy in our Rise group is doing a thing too. I'm sure there's many more. All that work that they're doing is that prep work in this until that unlocking happens, and that magnetic unlocking is going to completely shift. It's almost like a total 180, completely shift in its poles, so to speak, and then we're going to have a completely different relationship available to us that we've had before. We will have that interconnectivity relationship without the distortion, without the you see what I mean? Without the flows that are disharmonic to the proliferation of life. All right, dear. Let's see what we have here. We have helicopter service. That's good to know. That's good to know. All right, dear brother, young trick named Jim says, joining Colorado here. Hi, all. Hope everyone is thriving. Beautiful. Thank you for those good wishes, darling. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm sorry, I'm really having to focus on my eyes. I'm just having such a hard time seeing text right now. I finally understand what you mean by nesting dolls. It's like Russian nesting dolls. Yes, exactly. It always confused me, LOL. I was picturing a bird's nest. Well, that's poetic in some ways. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Doesn't it make so much sense as soon as you open up to that? It's like, oh my gosh, it's totally, duh. It's like, ta-ta. And this is what I mean. We share our human stories and our healing stories and our experiences, and it activates us. And this is because we're in this time of, and it looks like a wave of light, a wave of fiery, non-burning, but transformative light. It's like whew, things are just washing through from that cosmic nesting doll all the way into our reality. It's like the distortion that reversed polarity was creating is not there to disrupt the full flow. It's really amazing. But because of this, to anchor it into our reality, we need to anchor it into our reality, right? By doing it. So the expression of this is getting together in sister circles, getting together in communities of people. It doesn't have to be just women, but it's helpful if there's just women and just men. And I know people might get, upset about that whole binary thing, but there's culturally the behavior is different, and there's a free flowing that happens, there's something that happens when you have only men and only women. That's all I can say. I really don't know how to put words to it. So I suppose someone who considers themselves non-binary would mean that they would get to choose which one they want to go to. I suppose they could qualify for either. Anyway, so this expression, anchoring it into our reality, is going to have multiple levels, right? And as we integrate this energy within us, we're going to start living differently, which is going to start rippling effect through people differently. And then, the momentum is happening. Like waking up to things that you believe just actually, I'm sorry, I'm saying it backwards. Like waking up to something that you believed was a truth for a really long time, and realizing all of a sudden you have the opinion that is the exact opposite. Oh boy, yeah. So that's like stuff like that kind of happening, and because I'm this image with the magnetics and the reversal, I'm hoping that gives you that connection that you need to let that be a realistic thing, that it's a cosmic shift that is actually behind those things all of a sudden not being true to you anymore. It's really quite fascinating. I love watching it happen. All right, let's see what we have here. Yes, aloha, dear sister Starshine, Joanne. Good to see you. Okay, where are we at? All right, 2:26. Wow, I'm doing very good on time. So, I would be interested to hear your guys' ideas on what kinds of activities you can imagine yourself doing or taking part in, or supporting in some way that would give an expression of this unwinding, the supportive, that sisterhood thing that I'm talking about. Some people might consider ceremony a good place for that, or wisdom sharing circle, and that could be according to many different rhythms. I think it could be powerful if it was done in the rhythm of the if it's just one person facilitating it to the rhythm of their cycle, of their own, personal cycle. Let's see, what do you guys got? Oh my gosh, come on guys. What can you imagine yourself be doing or being a part of or wanting to support that could be expression of the reversal of this cosmic frequency? This is where we dream and play. I know one I'm super interested in, and that is learning about revisiting the stories, the Greek and Roman stories of the demigods that have come to this planet. Some people call them giants, right? The Nephilim. There's different references all throughout, but in general, they were considered, benevolent beings. But if there's actually a version of that understanding that they not all of them were benevolent. Only certain ones. There was only one lineage of them that desired the liberation and freedom of humanity, believed in the beauty of humanity. So there's a lot of interest for me in that. So even like starting a group to talk about those things would be cool, or to share videos, or share story time is something that I like. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think of some things that people have mentioned they want to do. We have a fall group getting together to practice land speak. That one's very exciting. I don't want to say the details about that because I don't know if I have the privilege to say that or not. But when she gets it finalized together, and I'll totally mention. I'll tell you who. I'll give her a plug, of course. Yeah. What kinds of things can you imagine doing that would anchor? That would be that new expression that would anchor this. There's a beautiful dance between activating energy and anchoring energy. And there's a cosmic translation of those frequencies. And those are expressed in our elemental world through dragon consciousness. It's very interesting that people, by connecting with elementals, they would experience cosmic creation consciousness behind all that. Because a lot of times we associate it with sky people or in emptiness, but it's also, the emptiness is inside the telluric realm too. Therefore, the gateways to this consciousness. Anyway, let's see, anybody respond yet? Nope. Oh, you guys just quiet. All right. There's no wrong answers here. There's no wrong answers, I promise. There used to be a meetup that I've always thought about going to that I never went to, so I have no idea what it's actually like, but I love the idea that the name gave me, and that was Dances for Peace. Dances, and there was a meetup that happened regularly where I used to live, and I've always wanted to go there and never did, but I love the idea of a group of people getting together to actually give physical movement and dedication, song, and all that energy to the ripple effect of peace, to bringing peace, widening the vibration of peace through the realities. Oh, good, we get a player. All right, dear Sister Sky says there is an elemental protection activation this weekend with Tiara Kamaru. I am Avatar. Ooh. Okay, meditation. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, elementals where it's at right now. They're really reaching out full force into humanity, into the connecting, building relationship with humanity. Yeah, and this is what my teachers talked about, that the way through this confusion, the way through this crazy flip out, going out with a bang false matrix, the way to navigate it while we're going through these times of transmissions and transition, all this stuff is changing, dying and coming forward in a different way maybe. The only way through is to really keep focused on the land, keep focused on the elementals, keep your rhythms as close to the natural rhythms as you can. Live that way, and you'll, frequency-wise, you'll be able to navigate these times. You'll be in the right time at the right place, stuff like that, because that will be your rhythm, your natural rhythm. And I think those of you who've been playing around or working with elementals know exactly what I mean. It's like a direct connection to creating something in 3D, to be co-creating with an elemental. It's very, very potent. Very, very potent. I have a really beautiful story. about connecting with elemental beings. Okay. Come on, guys. Brainstorm. What kinds of things? It could be art. You could be pulling it through an art. We had a dear sister Starshine in our academy that was amazing. Expanded dreamer, I'd call her an expanded dreamer. And she would do this art that encapsulates energy, a sacred drama, if you will, of these sacred dramas happening in these outer nesting dolls. She would get kind of like a download and then do a painting of it. It was really cool and very right on. So yeah. Anyway, so that could be something to get together and share. Or even, I would love it if she did a class to teach people how to do that. That would be very cool. Like facilitate an experience of doing that for people. That would be very cool. I would take that class. All right, dear sister Tony says, wow, the Queen of... Has she? No kidding. All right. The Queen of England has passed. The Queen of England. Wow. That is so auspicious. That is such auspicious timing given what I was just talking about earlier in this chat. Wow. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yes, the sisterhood is being reclaimed by those that, the radiant ones that it originally was intended for. Those bloodlines were originally intended for the radiant ones. That's having a vessel capable for them to occupy to the level of quantum, to occupy that level of consciousness. Fascinating stuff. Okay. Yeah, for some reason, my eyes, I just cannot see for some reason. And it's like there's a film. I'm wondering if I got oil or something in my eyes. Anyway, would love to serve as bridge between both worlds and provide space for the mind to unwind and heart expand in direct connection with earth and nature. Oh, I love it, darling. I love it. I'm in. All right. Beverly says, well, last summer I saw her leaving in a year. Really? You did? You predicted that, Beverly. No kidding. She's not getting the life force provided to her anymore. Wink, wink. Yes. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. Thank you. You reminded me that was on my list I wanted to talk about. And what it was, oh my gosh, thank you, Beverly. You totally activated my memory to one of the things. Yeah, right. They don't have the food that they once had. So it's very interesting because people are dropping left and right. Anyway, so here's the thing. The thing I wanted to weave in, what I wanted to talk about is that, hold on, let me get it all together. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Over the summertime, we were part of an activation process that was bridging, harmonizing the consciousness fields of between Atlantis and Lemuria. And what this is doing, it's a unification process of something that has been in a very polarizing reality, polarizing way. And a major facet of addressing that was reclaiming your sexual energy, reclaiming your reproductive energy, reclaiming your womb space. And the reclamation of that, while in the process of doing that, the Radiant Sisterhood woke up. And just so happens that one of the dear starshines in our group is a template holder of the Radiant Sisterhood in its original form, or in its unified form. So ever since that happened, there's been this huge wave of women addressing this exact thing all over the place, right? This huge wave, influencers from all different ways, online, not online, people who just do intuitive ceremonies, people who just, you know what I mean? Everyday light workers. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that means, but I'm trying to address kind of like, the normal version of us, whatever we. Anyway. Hold on, let me keep getting on that roll there. Okay. So because of that event and this reclamation and this huge wave of thousands and thousands of people, maybe even tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people around the world are waking up and deciding to reclaim these powerful, powerful forces within them, reclaim their sexual energy, reclaim their womb space, reclaim their blood, like do this process, right? So, I mean, when I'm impacted with this awareness, I'm just like, holy crap, I wonder what it's going to look like when all those parasites, life force energy sources get cut off. And it's actually not just the royal lions, but there's some, the shenanigans happening in the military and the stuff connected into psyops and, all this stuff. They are all feeding off of they're all feeding off that pool. So there's this huge wave of us reclaiming that and stopping that. I mean, I know many women who just have zero desire to ever um, uh, open up their sexual energy to be fed on ever again. It's like they are absolute about it, even if it means being celibate for the rest of their lives. It's like that's the level, the depth of their conviction, because it's so imperative that they keep control of their field in that way. It's like we are getting. I mean, this is just one of many, many waves to come. More and more people are going to be waking up to this level of themselves and saying, enough, I am not letting myself get fed upon like that. Consciously, subconsciously, like whatever. So, I'm sitting here thinking, wow, I wonder what that's going to look like. How is that going to manifest itself in the 3D? All this looshing no longer being available, because it's a lot of looshing. It's like 30% of what you can extract from a human. Get this number, guys. 30% of what you can extract out of a human is their sexual tantric energy. 30%. Like what? Yeah, that's as high as kidney chi, kidney life force, right? So it's a really major. It puts a major dent in the loosh supply by humans reclaiming their sexual reproductive energy. And if you want to learn more about that, where I was really drawn to work with that was actually a man. His name is Mantak Chia. He has many books and has a center in Thailand. I went there a few times to work with that Taoist energy, but he has this whole system of recordings that you can do all about the Tao, tantric Tao, where you learn how to like greatly enhance your sexual energy and arousal energy, and not only enhance it but and rechannel it into healing qualities, events that actually heal your spirit in the sense of like massive soul retrieval kind of level of healing, with yourself or with other people. It's this whole powerful system on how to regain control on a very deep level of your sexual energy. Now, I resonate with the Tao, and that's always something that has been a resource for me in my life. But no doubt, if it's time for you to wake up on those levels, some resource is going to come to you, some resource of how to reclaim, and also making it okay to reclaim this energy in this way. All right, let's see. Oh, good. Nice. Anyway, so I came across a couple women providing holistic grief workshops, and I thought that is so needed. Oh, yes. Oh, you know what? I should have scrolled up, started where this. Yes. All right. So, dear Sister Starshine Sky says, anyone else never want to have sex again since we had our reproductive rights removed? Oh, wow. That's a question mark to you guys, she's saying. Do you never want to have sex again because your reproductive rights have been removed? Yep, consider that. Yes, it could change if the right partner comes along. Okay, that's also same. That's also Sky. Joanne says she has been gone for quite a while, just now allowed to be known. Oh, she must be talking about Queen Elizabeth. Really? Okay. And then, anyway, so I came across a couple women providing holistic grief workshop, and I thought that that's so needed. Yes, 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 that is absolutely true. Grief work is so, so needed. I mean, people don't even understand that they can be affected their entire life. The quality of the whole rest of their life can be affected if they don't process their grief. You know, it's really an important thing to do, and it also brings people closer to themselves. You know, and again, another group, another connection, another way to connect. um, yeah, there was there's so many reasons. So connecting, I'm being reminded of something, and that is the in the center of Milky Way galaxy, we have creation waves that come out. This is the work of Johann Kalaman, and as translated and passed on through Barbara Hand-Clough. There is these creation waves emanating out of the center of the Milky Way galaxy, and they have a particular expression. One of them, I think it's the seventh wave, is the expression of our psyches in a biosuit coming together in a tribal way, through tribal connection, and then tribal connecting into, I think, national pride, stuff like this. And us being born into that structure allows us to explore, right, and evolve with that influencing our experience. And there's 9 waves altogether, and the very last wave is the wave of technology. How to integrate technology into our evolutionary cycle, where we actually evolve from it versus destroy ourselves from it. So there's these waves that emanate out of the center of the Milky Way galaxy that have that kind of effect on this 3D nesting doll, and, well, the multidimensional nesting dolls. And the reason why I'm saying that is that, distortions that are unlocking the lies that are turning into truths, and the truths into lies, and that kind of stuff. What we need to understand is that the the opposite are different sides of the same coin. So there's still an integrous nature within that frequency. It's just the ways it's been expressed is one end and the other, if that makes sense. So as the polarity lightens up, and this creation wave of tribalhood, national pride, this kind of thing, is now going to be expressed in a transmuted way in our consciousness, as in a force that brings us together and nurtures us, versus before a force that was a divisive thing and we warred about, as a collective. So, sorry, it took me a second to get there. So I think it could be worth consideration of that alchemistic version of tribalhood, of sisterhood, of brotherhood. What's the alchemical expression of that is free of the divisive programs and distortions that were in the previous experience when that wave got introduced in the beginning. So these waves are all unfolding at the same time, which is, in theory, why time feels like it's speeding up, why things feel like they're actually going faster. And so I really resonated with that idea that it's all these creational waves, the pressure of all these waves squeezing us, dividing our time and speeding us up. But I'm also realizing that there's something else speeding us up, and that is that we're really, truly speeding up. I don't know if you guys know this, but every day is growing shorter. Our days are, we've had some days that are extra, we have the shortest days and the less shortest days, and then the regular kind of days. It's a fluctuating pattern, but consecutively for many, I think it's over a year now, days have been getting shorter and shorter and shorter. It's noticeable now on the atomic clocks that the Earth is not rotating at the same speed that it used to be. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Dear Sister Sheen says, started a local meetup group to attract others. If you live near the North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee corner, please let me know. Yes, absolutely. And I believe that's Wisdom Council that's getting together, is the flavor of that. But um, I'm sure it's also, yeah, actually I have ideas about what we could be doing. All right, and Paula says, P.S. Nothing that couldn't be done by hand. All right, dear Beverly says, Martson, at Paula Martson. Oh, she's laughing. Okay. Time always been changing for me anyway. It's never been normal. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because it actually is very relative, isn't it? We get this with the stories of those who've had experiences with the Fey realm. This is not a new concept. Humanity knew the relativity of time long before Einstein came up with the theory of relativity, you know. And that is the stories of like Rumpelstiltskin, the stories that tell us about someone walking into a fairy circle and then coming out years later, and for them it seems like 20 minutes pass by, you know. Oh my gosh, I have little fairy feather leaf guys around me. Kind of chattering with the story. Anyway, and we have stories of, you know, people going into portals and going and stepping back in time. I mean, these are in our ancient fables, myths, and legends. And I know people think a myth isn't true, but it is. It's just we don't understand how it's true, you know. Um, Once you actually see the truth in myths and legends and stuff like this, you know, you've woken up to something. It's quite a profound shift. And I'm curious if any of you guys have a story that you can share about you, a time when you awoke to an idea, like an idea came to you, or it came into your world somehow by something somewhere, and ever since that idea came to you, it woke something up, and ever since you just know there's no going back. There's no going back. You are completely changed in that moment, waking up to that idea. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? And then, if you do you have a short story you can tell about that moment? um, and it's not one of those things where you have a realization, or not a realization, when you have an epiphany, you're like, and it's super clear for like 20 minutes, it's super clear for 3 weeks, maybe it's super clear for 3 months, but then nothing really changes. That doesn't count. I'm talking about the ones that hit you and they change you forever. It's like there is no going back. I'm talking about those moments when there is no, you just know it, every fiber of your being, you just know there's no going back. All right, dear sister says, it happened to me. It happens to me all the time. Going into other realms in astral and dimensional and time changes. Yes, yes, yes. Out of body experiences. Oh, okay. Really? Okay, those are out of, okay. Um, yeah, so those, what you said there, um, the astral experience and the time changes and stuff like that. I, for me, I don't feel like that's an out of body experience. For me, it's something that happens in dream time, like in a dream state. So it's like, yeah, I don't even know how to explain that. It's interesting that that's associated as an out of body experience. I suspect there's probably several people that agree with that, or you know, that resonate with that idea. I gotta move my. I have been in a squat this whole time, and I'm just now waking up to it that my legs need a break. So I've been on this medicinal diet for a while, for a little over, well, 13 months. And something that is a beautiful outcome of the many beautiful outcomes, but something about it is that I have an awesome squat. I can squat all the way down. You know, my feet flat on the ground and all the way down where your butt is actually on your heels, you know, like the Asian Indian squat, like that. I'm so happy about my squat. It really is a very comfortable way to sit, especially when you're in nature. Um, anyway, I'm sidetracking there. All right, here we go. Dear sister says, Carol says, yeah, I've had exactly that recent when my wife died. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Carol, that's Carl. Welcome, Carl. When my wife died, I lost fear. It was very surreal. It was a very surreal experience. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, love. That's beautiful. All right. Yeah. There's something just so miraculous about dying. I mean, of course, it's sad because it's a beloved, but there's also something extraordinarily miraculous, especially when you're holding space for it and you're there. Um, yeah, my mom had a beautiful blessed passing. I could feel it. It was all around me. Um, yes. All right. So Sky says, yes, that happens in dream state, but I leave this place that we're in now and go somewhere else. It's never the same place twice. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. That's interesting. That makes me think if wonder if you're a really curious person, dear. Because a lot of times with the dream stuff, we do follow habits, because we're a habitual type people. So very interesting. All right, dear sister Ella Daniela says in Transylvania, around the Sphinx is the mountains. They are part of it that people disappear and appear in other place or years after with same clothes. I went there and changed and activated me. Oh yeah. Oh gosh, that sounds like a road trip. I really, really want to come back to the Balkans. I absolutely loved it when we were there in 2019. There's so many magical gems in those mountains. Hmm. Okay. Well, that seed is still germinating there. All right, dear sister Sky says it's kind of in between sleep and awake, and my body vibrates and I phase out. Oh yes, yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, between waking and sleeping. Yes, that's a very, very powerful time. I see. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, dear sister Ella Daniela says, ha ha ha. I'm actually under an olive tree, sitting in a squat, butt on the ground while listening to you. Oh my gosh, you're taking me right there. Thank you. Oh, hey, sister. hmm I recently found that picture of us under that tree in, I think it was Chichen Itza. You could tell it was very, very hot that day. Mhm. All right. Well, I love hearing about your guys's ideas. Maybe give yourself, write that down in your journal. Maybe there's some things that come to you that would be interesting to connect with in-person humans about. Um, gosh, there's so many things. The I want to also let everybody know that the best social media to contribute into these conversations is through our Telegram group, which is Multidimensional Human, and our Facebook group, which is Rise of the Multidimensional Human. We're on Instagram as well, but that's mostly personal messages and stuff like that happen. And there's reels. We have these short little clips of stuff that we post in there too. Uh, so that's how, but this stuff really gets generated by just reading the posts. So I'm just looking at what you guys are, what you're interested in, and giving my take on it. And of course, feeling into the collective as well, sharing the good news, sharing the wins, sharing all the great stuff, right? all that comes into play. And I'm really glad to have you guys here to share with and talk about it. Um, Okay, we have a couple more comments and then, oh yeah, we have time. What am I doing? I'm already wrapping up and I still have 2 more minutes. What am I doing? All right, see, just how outside of time I am here. All right, young trick named Jim says, there are things I would like to share regarding sexual energy, specifically relating to my relating with my partner, but she's not here, and I want to be sure she's okay with sharing. That's a very, very respectful thing to do. I would definitely, yeah, think that's a great idea. And then you go on, Dear Brother goes on to say, we'll comment in the Telegram chat after discussing it together. Perfect. That's a great idea. And Telegram's the best place to do it because they don't, there's no tracking. You don't get tagged or anything like that. It's more of a private kind of thing. Oh, and also I want to let you guys know that we are starting up our Healer Acceleration Lab programming next month. If you are interested in participating in the Healer Acceleration Lab Facilitator Series, I invite you guys to email us at WeCare. It's WeCare at lightbodyacademy.com. WeCare at lightbodyacademy.com. And I would like you to, just reach out and let us know if you are interested in that, and we will send you more information. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about, or I'm sorry, one of the topics that we will be talking about and experiencing first is recapitulation and how it frees up your energy field for not just dreaming, but also facilitating a graceful death. So we'll be doing death rites as well. And that is going to be happening in October and November. And then from there, we're just going deeper down the rabbit hole into the mystery. So to me, it's very fitting to start with the portal of death to go into that process. So if you've been interested in maybe being a death doula for your family, your beloveds, or maybe a specific, like a grandmother or someone that you feel really called, or your inner knowing is telling you you're going to be a part of their dying process, this might be something that you're interested in. This is, there's a lot of people checking out right now. And when you combine these processes and with death, it really liberates the spirit from the reincarnational cycle. It can liberate the spirit from these incarnational cycles. So, you're really doing a huge service for that person and your family and everybody connected to that person. Generations going in both directions benefit by that person being able to transition and fully leave without getting caught in, different bardos or in the incarnational cycles of this planet. And it's not saying they're going to want to leave. It means the next way they come is their choice in a fuller, more multi-dimensional way. Okay. So death, doing this for someone is a really, really beautiful gift. And the other thing that is of great benefit is that it will enhance your dream recall and your ability to overlap this reality with dream reality and literally pull things through from the elemental realm and or the void. So it's a really, really great capacity to have, to not just go through the process yourself, but to be able to facilitate that process for your beloveds, people in your life. So that's starting in October. And if this is something that you're like, I totally want to do that, your heart is saying, hell yes, email us that WeCare at lightbodyacademy.com, and we'll send you, we'll set you up with an interview. And you'll talk to me probably to see if it's a good fit. I'm being really selective of who I let in, and and I think it's because we are working at such a deep level. I mean, you can't effectively do death rites if you don't trust the people that you're with, because it's quite literal full surrender. Anyway, I'm rambling. I don't need to go on further about that. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk. All right. Wonderful conclusion. Born humans. Interested in consciousness of newborn humans. Okay. Yes. Gosh, that's a topic. Let's continue that talk next week. What is a new human? What does that mean? I'd love to dive into that one. All right, darlings. Love you lots. Mwah. Until next time. Bye-bye.